What I try to do in the menu is that every bite you take, you look at each other and think, man, this is really tasteful. Like how Lendl and I work together and his service and my food, that combined is, we have something special in our hands. So this is veal stock, put it overnight. We're gonna sieve it today, we're gonna reduce it, and then we're gonna launch a new one because we need a lot of jus de veau during the week. Well, I start with doing the laundry, because that's important, because we need chef jackets, we need aprons, and we need clean towels. I was 15 years old and I started working in a professional kitchen. First I did a little bit of fish washing, but it was only for a month. And then the chef said, do you want to make some salads? Do you want to cut some carpaccio? Or do you want to cut some meat? Do you want to peel some potatoes? Yeah, let's go. And then it started. And the mayhem and the language, people are running. Afterwards, everybody was drinking beer. Damn, this is awesome. So, yeah, and we worked every night in the summer. And in the end of the day, you were at the bar, and when the chef looked at you, and then you wrote a small note with your hours, and you give it to him, and he give you a beer and your day's pay. And then afterwards, we all go to the bar and just throw all the money on the bar and drink, and the next day it started all over again.
Chef.
Ga ik zo doen. It's like a little zen moment for me. Just, okay, I got here 20 kilo of onions and I'm gonna peel them and cut them, and then just my mind is just drifting a little bit and thinking about new dishes and just do 1 hour of one chore. And it also helps the guys in the kitchen a lot if I do like 20 kilos of onion, and I can think a little bit or think about nothing, just about the onions. So that's why I like to do some simple chores to just get my mind a little bit on ease and think about small stuff, big stuff, new dishes. Dat is mooi niet.
That's so mooi. These are beetroots, and they put it in the ground, and they make a fire, and then they put the sand on top, and then let it well.
Yeah, we always check for quality.
Part of my job is to think ahead and talk with suppliers. Also the climate change, all the seasons are changing. So strawberries are coming or later or coming sooner than normal, and it's also with the lambs. If it's pretty cold, but if in a few weeks it's going to be a few days really hot, then the asparagus will pop out of the ground. But if it stays cold for another 6 weeks, then it's going to take a little bit longer for the asparagus to come off the ground. And all that kind of stuff is really important for the menu, and I think a lot about dishes.
very cool knife.
Thank you.
My brother came from Japan, man.
Oh wow.
My brother was on vacation in Japan, and I was on a waiting list for 1.5 years for this knife in the Netherlands, but I couldn't get it, so I got it from Japan.
In the first years, I didn't know what kind of direction I want to go. I was just working 10, 12 hours a day and put out a lot of food. But that grew over the years. Because I went to school here in Amsterdam for 5 years, and the teachers told me you need to every year go to a different restaurant and try to go even higher and higher and higher. And then you have seen all kinds of different restaurants, and then you can look back and say, oh, what is your choice? What was the most fun? What did you like? Then you can choose. For me, it was fine dining. The first day I started in a professional kitchen, a professional restaurant, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. In the beginning, when I was a little bit younger, I was still a bit do I want to be a bartender? Do I want to be a chef? Do I want to go be in front of the house? But when I stepped foot in the kitchen, I was like, yes, this is it. I want to serve tables. I don't want to pour beer. I want to cook. Yeah, I want to create. This is the base of the Albufeira sauce. It's one of my favorite sauces. It's with Madeira, it's with white port, and it's with cognac. And now we're gonna do the chicken stock on it. And the chicken stock we boil it in 2 phases. First with the raw chicken bones, and then we wait 1 day, and then we do another batch of chicken bones, and then we roast them in the oven. This is the veal stock. We start with 70 liters, and we end up with, I think, 1 or 2 liters in the end. So it's gonna be really concentrated. If you want to work in my kitchen, you start not at the bottom, but you start at the cold section. And you need to cut a lot of things, and you need to learn the basic stuff, and then you can move up. But the end station for me is, of course, the function of sous chef and making the sauces. But that takes experience, a lot of experience. You need to dare, you need to reduce and wait, and just not be too quick about it. A lot of guys say, oh, this is fine, and I taste it, it's like a little bit watery, and there's no body, no texture. So they're afraid that they think this is enough, but you need to show a little courage with good sauces to reduce more and more and more, and then you're gonna build up your sauce. And that's experience. But my sauces like 10 years ago weren't as good as they are now, because you need to make them again and again and again, and learn from other chefs and watch how they do it, and then give your own signature to your sauces. And I think it's one of the best things to do in the kitchen. Making sauces is pretty much fun.
So who just arrived?
I really don't know.
Oh.
I think it's a wine supplier. We're gonna do a tasting.
You also gonna go?
No.
So you don't want to participate in...
Sometimes I do. But today I'm gonna focus on some new dishes. So, no wine tasting for me today.
We started 3.5 years ago with the wine import of Italian wines. We met Diletta and Codilamo 3 years ago at Vinitaly.
So we are a wine estate. The wine estate was founded by my mom in 1997, and she was one of the first female producer in Montalcino. And when she started her project, she decided to involve only women in her project. So this is the reason why you have the woman profile on the label, because she wants that you can understand from the first time that behind this label there are only women involved. She was also one of the first to produce organic wineries, so we follow all the organic routes both in the cellar and also in the vineyards. We are in the northeast side of Montalcino, so the fresher side that you can have in this moment.
I started at the bottom, just baking schnitzels and peeling potatoes. And every year I was going up a little to a little nice restaurant. And then I want to go to the top, and that's about 15 years ago. It was quite difficult for me with my resume, with not all the big restaurants, to get foot in the door with the big boys with the top of the Netherlands. And an old chef of mine worked at some good restaurants and he made the call, so they give me a chance. And that's the reason that I came in. Somebody gave me a chance to prove myself, and that's what I did. Year after and year after and year after, and that's why I now here in a restaurant with a Michelin star.
I'm now smashing the chicken, nice and flat and even, so I can afterwards fill it with the farce I made. It's based on the black cacao. We fill it, then we roll it. We cut the edges off, and then we roll it in the ham, and then it comes together with albufeira sauce and white beans and cream made of Jerusalem artichoke.
I had some really tough chefs that were pretty old school, and when I became first sous chef, I was quite the same. I was like really terror and screaming at people and throwing with pans. And then I had an employee of mine, he was talking with me, he said, "You're a great chef, but you need to work on your people skills, because otherwise nobody wants to work for you." And I came home that night and I was thinking, I think he's right. Because one evening at a restaurant a few years ago, I was so angry that the service team didn't pick up the food anymore. They were so afraid. So they came with a little white flag from please calm down, and I was like, oh, this is not the way. So I've changed. I changed a lot the last few years. Yeah.
Cut now the excess jamon off, because otherwise you also get a thick layer of jamon on the outside.
This is my little black book, and when I have a new dish idea, I put it in here. So this is all dishes from last year. I put a lot of notes in my phone also. It's always an excited moment when we have new dishes. Everybody's a little bit nervous. They don't know what to do exactly, but after the first day, it's going to be fine. So this is also going to be for a new dish. This is wild salmon from Denmark. Make a mixture of lemons, some sugar and some sea salt. And then come and cover it up. It's a really busy brain, so it's always working, and even if I'm just cooking, I'm like, ooh, this is a really good idea. It's like things from my childhood, like to travel, like to go to other 1, 2 or 3 Michelin stars in Europe. And that also get inspired. What are they doing? It's not like they're gonna copy a dish, but if I have like a really good garnish or a really good sauce, I'm like, oh damn, I can work with that. And the seasons inspire me to cook like the asparagus and the comfort food, because that is the main line in the kitchen, is that we focus on comfort food. So there's always a dish that we can try to convert in fine dining. Always a little bit tricky when you don't know how people are gonna react on that, because now we have the veal, but before it was steak with pepper sauce. It was a tribute to my first restaurant where I worked. It was one of the first sauces I ever made, but a lot of people like it, and some people are like, damn, I need to eat steak with pepper sauce in a Michelin star restaurant. So that's always a little tricky if you going to look for the edges in what people like or don't like, or understand or don't understand, then you get also criticism. But yeah, if you don't try it, you don't know it.
So do you think you put this on the menu, or still needs work?
Yeah, we thinking for the dish for months now, months and months, because the season is coming. So these are the first asperges, but they're from the greenhouse. So we have to wait till they'll come from the outside, from the soil.
So this is the final version, yeah?
Almost. Not yet. I need to.
Super lucky.
Does anybody ever say anything bad about your dishes?
Yeah.
Are the people who said something bad still working here?
No. They all disappeared.
We're gonna make an amuse, the potato cylinder, and it's just a one biter. So people eat it in one bite, but it spent a lot of time to make these, man.
Most important thing is that I want to surround me with people that are ambitious and want to bring this restaurant to the next level together with me. Doesn't matter for me what your background is, and what you have done, and in what kind of restaurants you work with. If this is going to be your first restaurant to work in, it's going to be pretty tough because there's a lot of things are happening, there's a lot of pressure, you need to do a lot of things in one day. So people who really want to cook great food, delicious food, and wake up, want to go to work, want to put everything in their work for the 4 days that they are here, and make this restaurant a big success.
When they take the bite, they think, oh, it's a nice bite. Looks nice, but they don't know. They don't know the work that's really put in. That's with everything, I think.
Every morning I go to the sea, North Sea, and I go swim in it with my spear, and then I turb it. Nee. Scallops, Saint-Jacques from France. Some are still alive. Most of the time I cook for the staff because I really like it. And I want to eat nice, so.
And you don't trust them to cook good food?
Well, I do trust them, but yeah, I have the most time on my hands. Friday is Deep Friday, so we eat something from the deep fryer.
And we have a German guy in this restaurant. He loves mayonnaise. His love is about mayonnaise. So he always tastes the different mayonnaise. So we have 3-4 different brands, and for every different meal, he puts a different mayonnaise. He's a real mayonnaise fan.
Good son. We met at Bougainville, Lendl and me. The first 6 months didn't have to click or something, and just like normal colleagues. And after one busy night, we drink some beers together, and we're like, damn, we think about a lot of things the same. So we went to each other. He lives in The Hague. I live in Alkmaar, so he come to me to drink some beer. I went to The Hague to his house to drink some beer, and then the idea grew to start our own business. Especially because I think his service is one of the best in Holland. We thought in the beginning that it will be a lot easier to get our teams together. The team of Lendl was quite fast together, so that was pretty amazing. We didn't expect that, but the kitchen team was a whole different story. I had some guys who want to work with me, 3 guys, sous chef and me. So like, this is great. Now we can open and now we can start. And then I get 3 calls in 2 days. One guy said, okay, I'm gonna stay with my former employer. Another guy was calling the same day that he was going to travel. And another guy said, I'm going to freelance. And I was like, this just happened? I lost 3 guys in 2 days. So I called the sous chef and I was like, okay, we got nobody now. First 3 months was me and the sous chef and all kinds of different freelance chefs, but they are quite expensive. So we started at 9 o'clock or 8:30, and then we pushed it all the way to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And now the team is complete.
Even mij opzetten, de kok. Niet in die spinazie, alsjeblieft. Jij bent ook wel
Mr. Mayonnaise.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Fred, show me your
Hello.
introduce yourself
Hello.
as Mr. Mayonnaise. We already did.
Ja, hier, kijk eens, Mr. Mayonnaise. Lekker. Ja.
We started this restaurant, me and Dorus started this restaurant as a kind of vision that we wanted to have a restaurant where we would like to have dinner ourselves as well. And not that this is the perfect place, not at all, but we like having dinner at this level in a relaxed setting. You can't fake hospitality. A lot of people try to do their very best and they serve very nicely and they work very nicely, but you can just see that it's not automatism. But when you really mean it by heart, you can feel it, you can see it, and that's something special, you know? It's very important in hospitality to tell your guest what's the plan. So share the plan or share the way of working of the restaurant. I think the worst thing in service, what you can do is just think for the guest. Oh, they want this, but you're not sure about, you're not certain. I think that they want this, so we do this. But did you ask it? No, you didn't ask it. So how can you know that they really want it? So it's very important to have confirmation with your guest all the time.
7 October the Michelin stars came out. When we set this whole restaurant up, we gave ourselves 5 years to try to get the first star. Now it happened in 10 months, so that was unbelievable and really special. The week before, the menu was exactly the same. Only after that Michelin awarded you with a Michelin star, then the whole world knows that you're cooking on a certain level. And the reservations were going to the roof. There's like, I think 1,000 reservations in 3 days. And when we started again on Thursday, yeah, everybody's spirits were, everybody was smiling.
Nee? Concept.
It's nice, but he thinks ready, but it's not ready yet. It needs to be a little bit more courage, a little bit more balls. More balls.
Yeah.
This moment I always hate because I want to do something. I'm on a roll.
I don't like to speak that much when I service. I like silence in the kitchen. When there's silence, there's control.
very strict, also in the kitchen, also in the service. But I think we can, just joke about ourselves. You know, it's not about we are that good and the people have to listen to us and they have to enjoy our food. And if they don't like it, it's a big trouble. Many of those kinds of restaurants, I guess, are a little bit like that, you know. But what does it matter? If the people just want whatever they want, we're gonna give them and we're gonna even make it better.